Beautiful people, welcome back. Alive on the farm. We're gonna be planting some beds today. Got some beautiful fava beans hidden in here. Planted the rest of them in the tunnel at ones that didn't germinate. They told me to soak them for 24 hours. I did that, and a bunch of them turned to mush in the ground over there. So I soaked these for about 5 hours. I thought 24 was kind of too long, to be honest. I don't know, teach their own. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing some cilantro in our bed. This is the new bed. We got it all filled up. Look, by the way. And so I did make it about 8 inches deep. I ended up getting just a couple pieces of wood that was that deep, put it on that one. So there's air here. This is all empty. And then it's the board. And then I put a couple pieces of wood, stood them up, pretty like sturdy pieces of wood. 6 of them throughout, you know, staggered the right way, and put the board down, and so we're about 8 inches now. I couldn't use that. That was a little bit too tall. So that way, you know, it only gave me like 4 inches, and I want some compost in here. So this is all compost, no hugelkultur or anything like that, no twigs, no nothing. We will be seeding, and so this, I was gonna do basil in here, but I'm thinking I'm gonna stay away from the basil in here, and the basil's only gonna stick in there, because I want to do celery. This is just gonna be a me thing. It is what it is. 90-day crop. This is a brand new thing, big bed for free, so I'm gonna take advantage. I had some extra. I'm growing some of this indoors for personal use, and I'm just gonna see what it's like outdoors. So we're gonna have dill. This is a dill from last year's seeds. Actually, I didn't even buy it this year. In this whole bed, and then we're gonna have on the back, because the sun's that way, we're gonna have the back. This is gonna be the kale. This is scarlet kale, purple scarlet, I think it's called, purple scarlet kale. I've done it every year. I don't even know the name. I think it's purple scarlet. Beautiful kale. And then that'll just grow up to the back, but obviously I need to put that on the back. So yeah, here's the new kind of thing. I did throw a short out there. Got the zinnias planted. I went about 9 inches on each of them, 9 to 11, something like that. Kind of just what made sense with the flow. At this point, I actually had them all in an L, but then I got that yesterday, so I moved them strategically to kind of keep them still all decent distances away from each other. The zinnias, like even there, you know, so here, they're still all kind of away from each other. Yes, I know I'm growing in plastic. It is what it is. These are about to be garbage, so they're at least going to be garbage in a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. I don't know, see how long they last. These ones got shipped to me for free. They turned into, this is a cement slab. What can I grow in here? But now I can grow stuff. This was free, that was free, and those ones are obviously wood, but both were about to be dumpsters. So most of it was about to be dumpsters, and then that they shipped me wrong for free, those ones. So awesome, pretty much free 99 all the way around, other than, yeah, I guess we're moving with these. That's why we had extra of the totes. But all right, so zinnias. So then these zinnias will grow up. They'll be about this tall, something like that. It depends how bushy I keep them. I actually do gotta think about pinching these pretty soon. Actually, you know, once they get one more little set of leaves, true leaves, then I'll pinch them. I think people even can pinch them right there, but I'm gonna let one more. Actually, I don't think you can pinch it there. I think you gotta have one more. So this is gonna be the dill bed. And yes, it looks dirty and messy, and that's okay. This is like a supernatural bed. Hugelkultur on the bottom. Excuse me, I've never talked about this bed, so I figured I should at least tell you guys what this bed is about. Hugelkultur on the bottom, and there's a whole bunch of wooden, if you don't know what that is, a whole bunch of big logs, not little things like this, but a whole bunch of big logs. So that way it saves space, it's less surface value to steal nitrogen or leach or whatever that term would be on that essence. But so bunch of, in that way I didn't have to just fill this whole thing with soil. You know, that's obviously the main point, is that'd be a very expensive fill. So the wood will eventually break down over time. This will settle more and more, and it has already. I do actually have to get a brace on this, I think. These will help, pushing these up against it, because you can see it's already starting to try to pop out a little bit. You know, it's not, it was free, so it is what it is. But I'll try to maintain it as much as I can, and we're working with it. Before, I didn't even know what I was going to put on this little cement slab. So yeah, so we're gonna do, it's gonna be dill and kale on this one. Our cilantro, and I got cilantro planted all throughout there, in between the zinnias. Cilantro just grows up to be a pretty small plant. You can kind of pick from it regularly. So I dig a lot of cilantro. I eat a lot of Mexican food. That's a whole food plant-based diet kind of dude. So rice and beans are a main part of my thing, and cilantro is an easy add. Some salsa. Cilantro is just great for your blood. It's freaking just more cilantro in your diet, guys. Freaking A. Boom. Yes. And yeah, personally, I just want to grow some celery outside. 90-day crop. I typically never grow that, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna grow some professional. I might just have like one little edge. We're gonna do that right now though, so we're gonna decide on the fly. And then Sweet Alyssum, this is just a filler. It's like a baby's breath. I think it's baby's breath. That little filler for flowers. Just a little white. It'll grow a little white. It's like under it. Dang, very bad with my verbiage today, guys. Apologize. It's like an understory guy, an understory filler baby plant. Understory. Yeah, sure. Okay. We'll go with it. Hey, you guys, you're not here right now, so you know you're not here to fight me on it. So we're gonna go with it. Thanks, guys. Fill it out. I'm just gonna flatten it out a little bit. Make sure we keep our eyes on where we put those fava beans. So I've never grown fava beans. Super awesome. I'm super excited for it. I know people hate on them from a flavor standpoint, but that's just guess one thing I've heard. So I don't even know. Maybe people love them. Oh dang! Did I? Where are those little fava beans? Okay, there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're just gonna get these in right now. Now that we got it pretty level. But they're super high in protein, like massively high in protein. It's from a raw. I try to eat a little more raw food. I'm trying to like high raw, or almost full raw on my diet. So it's gonna be clutch on protein as I try to bulk a little bit so I can get manly. I say it with my manly voice. Sorry, I don't really give a shit about it, but I'm trying to put a couple, 5 pounds of muscle on these days. It's naturally coming, doing all that compost and stuff, but about 10 years whole food, plant-based, vegan style. I broke down all of those cells. It's been 7 years was a big thing for me to kind of clean it all out, start all new cells. They say after 7 years you start new cells, whatever, blah blah blah. So we're just gonna go 4 here, and we're gonna just try to even them out a little bit. Boom. They should probably be a little bit farther away from each other, so maybe I'm gonna go closer to here and then just have it a little bit over the edge, but I don't want it too far over the edge from a watering standpoint. So it looks like now we're about 11 inches. My thing is, it's about 9 inches, and boom. So we're gonna go there. That's it. Easy money. It's nice to get a whole bunch of compost. And so I got a couple ideas on what we're gonna do for mulch on this guy too. Stay with me. Stay with me for the mulch. The super secret mulch we're gonna do. Just to not leave this exposed. You don't just leave this exposed for sun. It's just gonna deteriorate the top. All the beautiful microorganisms sitting on the top. Oh, toasted by the sun. So it's super teeny seeds on the celery. It's one thing that people kind of hate. One, you have to keep it damp the whole time. Let's see, what else we got growing in here? That and cilantro. So cilantro will be smaller than this. So we're gonna do this as the second story. Just because the sun's over here, so we're gonna go short and then go up like this. And the fava beans, that's why I put the fava beans there, because I'm pretty sure fava beans are a pretty big plant. Never grown them, but I've heard that they're a decent size. So we're just gonna go, a little bit, 9 inches from there, and we're gonna have a roll of celery. See how perfect I measure everything, guys? And then I will come through here and thin these. I'm gonna get a couple more in here. Yeah, because I'm just kind of dropping a bunch of seed. I probably will come in here and thin these guys. Not a bunch. I don't need a bunch, but towards the end there, I didn't feel like I dropped as many. So there we go. And I will just kind of agitate the soil. Boom. Good. Cover those teeny little seeds, so we don't. We don't need to bury those ones deep. You don't want to bury those ones deep. All right, that's it. Second row. Celery done. So sweet alyssum, we're kind of just gonna go around the sides. These are super teeny seeds too. And this and the cilantro, we're just gonna sprinkle through it down, you know, but those first two mattered, kind of, just from a size standpoint. You gotta think about that. You don't want the biggest one right in the front, you don't want the light, you know, you gotta, so we're just gonna sprinkle this through. This one's just kind of like a little ground cover. Dang, that's what I should have said the first time. I don't remember what I called it. Understory. Ground cover. Ground cover works way better, guys. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Hey, we're one take. I take one take, guys. You know, I'm real. We're real here. Keeping it real. And we're just gonna go like that. And we're gonna just kind of agitate the whole thing now. And we're gonna come through and do the next one and agitate the whole thing. But easy money. We have some beautiful plants here in the future. The hardest part is just keeping it watered. But there's a lot of soil in here, so it'll keep it pretty wet. But pretty damp. But being that it's not in the ground, it dries out faster. These beds dry out faster than, a little common sensible thing, but they'll dry out faster than your, especially those little guys, or those little black ones I got down there. Dang. I forget to water those a day or two, and when it's like 90-degree days out, toast. All right, so there's some beautiful little flowers. They're cool. Celery. Now we're gonna just do cilantro. So I kind of really cut down. You know, we got the thyme, the basil, or the thyme, and the. I'll be doing dill here. I guess I don't know. I feel like I could maybe do a little bit more herbs, but. So we have the thyme, the sage, the basil, the dill, cilantro. And this one we're just gonna sprinkle through too. Maybe we don't need them as much during the back. I don't even know why I just put them in the back. Probably shouldn't even mess with the back. Those end up getting pinched out. But it's a small plant too, so it might grow under. So yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's be abundant. They'll grow through it. And if not, I'll just pinch them out. If I don't like the way it's growing in front of something, we're just gonna give it love all around, guys. Boom. Nothing scientific. Just loving life, playing. Thanks guys for being here. Like, subscribe, like this crap. If you get down, like down. This crap, this stuff. Hanging outside, gardening, seeing the stuff. About to be banging. Everything comes, we reap what we sow. So let's sow it. And it's never gonna be perfect on this one now that we just, you know, there's a lot, and I'm just gonna continue to go through, push all these down. It is what it is. All right, so that one's done. That bed's done, other than I want to get some kind of mulch on top of it. So I'm thinking, I got two ideas, and we're gonna do both of them. Well, jumping on my trampoline with my kids earlier. Look at all these buds that fell off from the tree, the beautiful tree. We're gonna take these. We're gonna take some. Oh, dang. That was horrible. I should have grabbed the shovel. And these obviously won't grow, but they're definitely gonna take some sun. Let's give it a little shade under here. One layer of shade. Yeah, if these were live seeds, it'd be a different story. I thought this was a brilliant idea, guys. When I was jumping on the trampoline with them. They'll break down really easy. They're not too dense that they're gonna cover up some other seeds. Which that stuff doesn't typically have much either, but sometimes can. But look at that, it's like a perfect mulch on top of it. Boom. I'm gonna get up here. We're gonna go for our jump, guys. Boom, there we go. And that's it. Yeah, try to cover as much as we can. Not gonna be perfect. One more. And then we're gonna put some comfrey on top of it, guys. Comfrey mulch. So it's gonna have two mulches. And that mulch. And then we're gonna soak it. But here, I'll show you this. We're trying to get some life into that new compost too, so that's part of the reason I'm gonna do this. So this is gonna be like comfrey. It's gonna have lots of health in it. It's from the old comfrey. All this is comfrey border. So this is kind of just slug, but it's gonna be really good because it's really nutritious. So I don't know if you're feeling with comfrey, biodynamic accumulator, 10 to 12 foot taproot, soaks up all the yum-yums down there, puts it in its leaves. You can chop and drop it 3 or 4 times a year. And then obviously the mulch uses mulch, and then it'll go into your soils and feed your soils those nutrients or minerals or whatever is that the yum-yums that it got. I just called them yum-yums. It worked out better than trying to pinpoint what it exactly is. I'm gonna say yum-yums. We don't want to go too thick with this because we already put one. Oh, but those little baby seeds, they'll pop find their way to the sun, guys, and then this will break down. The worst thing we want to do is have a bunch of exposed soil. If I have one or less, and so some of this actually maybe take away one of those plants, too, and they'll find their ways. I got the faith. Probably even spread it out to the back a little more. Could even use a little bit more, honestly. I have to do some just regular mulch down here too. Stuff from the trees, I don't bag up my tree stuff, so this all falls from the tree, and then I cleaned up this whole area where a whole bunch of broken down stuff. So it's all just tree waste and tomato plants from last year. Boom! Badass, guys. We're into it. What's up, babe? Okay, I'm almost done with my video. Give me a little bit and I'll be in there. Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll be out there. Or in there. Okay. Okay, love you. Hold on. Alright, now I got super speed. This is easy anyways. So we're just doing the dill. And part of it, I could have put a lot more. So this is awesome soil down here. It's pretty much, I put compost on the top. And then right under that, there's like a layer of mulch from the winter where I mulched it with mushroom blocks and just old woody material, leaves, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And then underneath that is the actual beautiful soil from all the last 2 years of growing on this thing. I'll be in there in a second, sweetie. Sorry. Yeah, so I could put even more on this, make it nice and black and perfectly, but in reality I'm just seeding a bit. This is going with like mold, so this actually, if it like grew next to this wouldn't allow this seed. But I look at it weirdly as just a whole like ecosystem of, looking from a micro. Get your clothes on then, we'll come out. You can come out in a second. I'm sorry, guys. But sometimes the babe calls. So dill seeds, so it's super cheap. I'm just gonna sprinkle through. And kind of try to get it a little even, because that wasn't a very good sprinkle, I will say. But super cheap seed. It's awesome. Cheap dill is. And it's just the time to get the dill in for getting the pickle beans. We do the pickle beans, and got a bunch of cukes going this year. So maybe we'll do some, actually some pickling. I don't know, we'll see. Boom. One extra one to make the whole thing work. Alright, so there's the dill, and the dill will grow kind of tall, but hopefully since these are transplanted, they'll grow up faster than the dill. That's my banking. I'm banking on that. That's my banking, is what I said. And so this, we're actually just gonna try to find kind of a nice home. I probably could even get, nice! So, like right there, that's good. I think it's gonna thrive right there. Knew it. And I got a bunch of kale plants, so if 1 or 2 of these doesn't take, I'll just come through in the next little bit if I can tell it's not looking too hot, and then come through with a little bit more compost or whatever I need to do. But these all should take. The soil is pretty fire. We want to go about 12 to 18 on these because they get pretty big plants, man. So the kales will be growing here. So I want to go like, hold on, hon. I almost want to go 18. Not gonna have many kales babies here. That's kind of a crappy spot. I can feel it as I push down. So I'm gonna get one next to it. We're gonna watch one take off. And this has got 2 plants here, so just keep an eye on that. I know, honey, I'm doing a video. 1 second. We're just gonna put both those there. One will do good. One I'll be able to tell in the next that way, and I don't have to worry about it. One of them will do good. Little things like that, you just throw it in there instead of on the ground, obviously feeding the soil. 9, 18. Dang, so I only got 3 plants in here. I should have measured those better though, because I could have got another one in here. We're gonna sneak one in there. That one. We're gonna sneak this one in here. It's gonna be 2 close ones. We're actually gonna go like this. Watch. There you go. We gave it a couple extra inches down. Shove. 2. 1. Okay, okay, okay. We're on the last plant. And now the 13-year-old is involved. Hey, it's life on the farm at a homestead farm, you know what I'm saying? The mom was gone, she just went. But I started making the video anyways. They were all content before. They didn't stay content. Boom, we're in it. I'm hoping that this one goes because that's a better spacing. But we'll figure it out. It is what it is. It'll all be perfect because it's all perspective. And I say it's gonna be perfect, so. Boom, blessings guys. We'll see you soon. Family calls. Bye. See you soon.